with
with
expiration.
experience.
You find any inspiration in this we have done, and you have done your noble part.
El Maestro Speaks podcast.
Here we are again. Hello to everyone who's listening. Another episode of El Maestro Speaks podcast. I hope you enjoyed the past episode that we had. For those who understood it, um, I think the last one that we had is with a guest. We had this conversation, and we did it in our own language, in my native tongue. Anyway, so just for today's conversation, I just want to ask this question: If have you ever noticed someone who is like um their development, I mean, the way they carry themselves is like it's already permanently there. It's like as a human being, as yeah, as an individual, their peak of development is already reached, right? What I mean is that um they already cannot learn new things. Um they will sometimes say, "Oh, I'm too old for this thing." Anyway, so I'm not necessarily talking about old people because I've met old people. Back in my old workplace, I had I've encountered, I mean, old um, colleagues of mine who back in their heyday, when they were young, they have not encountered the years of Microsoft Office, the simplest. Okay, say the word processing and the Excel. They have not encountered that one at the age of 63. She is almost retiring. I mean, 63, 65, something, somewhere in that bracket. Um, she's still learning how to use Microsoft Excel, and she's doing it. She can do it, and you find people at the same age, even younger, that will say, "Oh, it's difficult for us to do that," and you can also find younger individual that is you can observe it by the way they carry themselves that they already like reach their peak in the development department. I mean, they already reached their peak in learning and acquiring new skills, things like that. Now, uh, yeah, I think it depends on the people. You might say, yeah, it depends on how people see themselves. Yes. And it will boil down to one word we'll be talking about this episode. We'll go down to what we are calling our mindset, how we see life and how we see ourselves, right? Now, perhaps the other people who are developing, even regardless of age, see themselves differently from those who are not, right? Okay. So again, I have to mute my microphone while drinking coffee, like as what was told to me that it's annoying. Anyway, uh, so people um view themselves differently, or the way people view themselves, I should say, mm, will have effect on their development. Okay? The mindset that we have will have an effect on how we carry ourselves and how we develop, how we improve as an individual. Now, I was trying to avoid the word mindset, um, uh, mainly because for those other countries, I don't think you will understand this, but we have this what we call networkers here, kind of like a pyramiding scam that um, they try to recruit people on the street and elsewhere to join their business, and they always use this mindset of it's like um to brainwash their clients at the same time to motivate them, to work for them using the word mindset. So uh it became here in the Philippines, it became a word to like a sarcastic thing to use to denote that someone is working in a monkey business of sort, okay, of a shitty business, if I'm allowed to say the word. Anyway, so anyway, for the purpose of conversation, we'll try to use it, trying to avoid it a while ago. That's why I cannot really directly say it's mindset. But anyway, going back, the way we develop, the way we improve as an individual will be dependent on our mindset. Excuse me. Now, I saw this book by, what was the name of the doctor again? Let me check on my tab. By Dr. Carl S. Dweck about growth mindset, and it's an eye opening for me, and it it brought some sort of realization. Now I can clearly see the difference or the reason why there are some people that think that way, that the development is already finished because they're already in that kind of age or in that later age of their life or later part of their life. And there are some people that, regardless of their age, even if they're 80, they're still, willing and eager to learn something that is new. And that is because of their respective mindset. Now, we cannot blame people of having that mindset. Now, there's these two kind of mindset that we'll be talking about tonight, recording this in nighttime, is that we have what we're calling the growth mindset, which was introduced, was discussed in the book of Dr. Carl S. Dweck. Same title, growth mindset. And we have what we are calling the fixed mindset. All right. So there are two kinds of mindset generally that we have as a human being. And this mindset was instilled to us, um, especially the fixed mindset. Okay. Like, um, based on my understanding, I'd say that the generally most of us have this fixed mindset. Now, we cannot blame ourselves for having that. We cannot blame our parents because it's like, it is the general belief that we had that was taught to us in school by some researchers, by some expert, unknowingly. They taught us that. Uh, we were taught that if we have an IQ of like this, like that, that that IQ, the number of that IQ is the one that will be limiting us on how we learn, on how we develop ourselves, right? Yeah. And that was taught to us by experts, some experts. Now, Perhaps, yeah, most of us. Okay. And then people, we have believed it for a long time, right? Okay. That we cannot increase our IQ. Um, I cannot tell exactly the scenario, but that is what was taught to us in college. There you have this IQ of like this that you cannot develop yourself. I mean, you cannot. There is a limit to how you will develop yourself. Now, the fire or the one who made the IQ exam, creator of the IQ test, Alfred Binet, views the IQ differently. He believes, okay, this is the guy who created the IQ test to determine the number of our IQ, or I mean the level of our IQ, believes that the power of education, or believes in the power of education to improve intelligence rather than seeing it as a fixed trait. But the institutions taught that IQ is fixed, right? So while Binet acknowledged differences in the children's intellectual abilities, he designed the IQ test to identify children struggling in Paris public schools so that the new educational program could help them succeed. All right. So the determining of the IQ was supposed to be to help um you help the to help the children um start their learning, right? And excuse me. Unfortunately, uh most of us believe that if your IQ is like this, then you know your individual, I mean, your development is limited. Binet directly opposed the idea that the intelligence was a fixed quantity and argued against it, against those who believed it couldn't be increased. He firmly believed that with practice, training, and effective methods, individuals could enhance their attention, memory, and judgment, ultimately becoming more intelligent. His work with children facing learning difficulties solidified his conviction that education and practice could fundamentally change intelligence. So that is Benet's or Alfred Benet's problem. Excuse me for a while. I'm just checking my audio here. It's kind of like peaking. Anyway, so that's the belief of Alfred Binet, and he's the one who created that test, right? But there are some who think that the IQ is fixed and you cannot develop it. But um, he believes that it will be improved. It will not go to some like amazing level. Like when you practice the piano for quite a while, you will become like a Mozart, or you can be as good as Mozart. But then you can improve yourself to be a better version of you in the long run, right? Like even those who have the one that we call the one with the that has the learning disability, through practice they can live, they can do a simple task, and they can improve themselves, right? So um it is surprising to know that Albert Benet is also a believer of a growth mindset, believer of an endless development. Now, when we were young, we were taught that, we have that kind of like fixed IQ and fixed personality. And that's what we believe. All schools, most schools and institutions like have. like unknowingly, I don't know, maybe unknowingly inculcated in our mind that that's the case, right? Now, uh, if you look at the development of children or adult, you can see that from time to time, when we do practice something, we can become better at it. So that means it only proves in practical thinking that we can improve ourselves, that our development is not fixed, that we can always adjust the peak of it or the height of it if we want to do so. That is the main um, definition of what we call the growth mindset, right? So that's growth mindset. Growth mindset is believing that you can develop yourself regardless of what your IQ level is. You can always improve yourself through practice, through education, and learning, continuous learning, right? And fixed mindset believes that once you reach that, you cannot change it. You have the limit. Now, in our lifetime, we have encountered those two people. Um, and maybe you can also ask question to yourself: what kind of person are you? Are you the one with the growth mindset, or you're the one with the fixed one, right? Now, there are some ways in the book. There are some ways that we can develop. Like I said a while ago, most of us was born to or was trained to have the fixed mindset. Now, there are some ways for us to develop what we're calling the growth mindset. How to have this attitude of always improving ourselves. How do we have how do we have that? So it's not a simple process, but I could say that this can help. So ways to develop growth mindset is the first one is recognizing your fixed mindset and actively cultivating a growth mindset. It is like a skill or a habit that you need to acquire, right? You gotta accept that, oh, I have this kind of mindset and I want to change it. And you have to do that every day. Okay? You have to work actively to have what you're calling a fixed mindset. To have a growth mindset, you have to work actively for it. So recognize and embrace your fixed mindset. Both fixed and growth mindset are part of everyone. The first step is to accept that everyone has both, okay, or has the element of both, and attempting to deny the fixed mindset will prevent you from addressing it. Identifying your fixed mindset persona can help you understand your own thought patterns and reactions to challenges. This persona might be named to someone you know, character, or a given name you dislike to remind you this is not what you want to be, right? So you gotta really, the beginning of wisdom, like they said in the old age, and another old wisdom that I want to share is that knowing thyself. I don't know who said it. I don't know who's the philosopher who said it, but it starts with knowing ourselves. So in order for us to really improve ourselves is and to change our fixed mindset to growth mindset is accepting that you have the fixed mindset and you can really have to know yourself, right? And know when this persona or this mindsets. comes in creeping when you're making decisions or when you're encountering situations. Next is identify your triggers and how you react. Common fixed mindset triggers include failure, right? Now, a fixed mindset person, uh, when they encounter failures, that they will dare not to repeat that situation that failed them. Okay, we see that on children, like a child with fixed mindset will always will choose sometimes choose not to talk or to recite because he's not sure of the answer. While a child with a growth mindset, will recite. And even if he makes mistake, he will be delighted to make mistake because he knows that through his mistake, he will learn something, right? A, a child with a fixed mindset will only do the things that they're good at and will never dare to try something new because he has this, he wants to be seen as someone who is intelligent. Uh, Being scared to look um, stupid, for the lack of a better word, is the one of the character traits of person who has a fixed mindset. Now, a person with a growth mindset will never care if he will look stupid in attempting to do things, right? So, criticisms, okay? Triggers for fixed mindset is criticism, deadlines, right? Disagreements, or any situation that challenges your perceived intelligence, like that. So, a person with a fixed mindset um, wants to take care of the perceived intelligence or wants to show the world or his, let's say, audience or his peers that he is intelligent, right? Someone with a growth mindset wouldn't care at all. What's important to him is his improvement, not not the perception of the people around him, right? So at times we have that attitude, right? Uh, Sometimes we do have that in different areas of our life. We will have that attitude, like we do not. But if you are, what do you call this one? You are, you know that this are like triggers, your triggers, or this are attributes of someone who has a fixed mindset, then you can immediately self-correct, right? Human is Humans are like what they call this one? Uh, a creature that needs improvement all the time, especially in terms of behavior. And that is why we will in the journey of the self-development, we will often commit mistake, but that's okay. That's part of development. What is important is when you make these mistakes, you will immediately self-correct or you can immediately fix those kinds of mistakes. So identifying your fixed mindsets triggers is one of the ways on how you can develop your growth mindset. Rather than trying to eliminate your fixed mindset, educate it one way. Another step. You gotta educate it about growth mindset. Help your fixed mindset persona understand the value of challenges, effort, and learning from setbacks. Right? So This two mindset might sometimes, um, I mean, not sometimes, but these two mindset we know is inside of us, but they manifest themselves depending on the situation that we're facing. And sometimes, uh, when we opt to like take the easier route, we can just take the fixed mindset, right? Is an excuse for things, especially if we're failing. And that's the number one trigger of having a fixed mindset. But knowing that, you have to educate your fixed mindset to um, know more. I mean, about the growth mindset. Yeah, know more about growth mindset and to like implement the practice of having a growth mindset every time you face setbacks, right? Gradually teach your fixed mindset persona new ways of thinking, evaluating our mindset, evaluating how we see things. It's very important. Like it's a very crucial part of development, our mental development that will lead to our personal development is to like sit down, have a drink of coffee, and just reflect on the activity that you did for the day and reflect on how you react to them, right? Just think of it. 15 minutes will do that. It's enough for reflecting on what you did for the day and just reflect on it and try to see what are the ways you can improve the way you reacted or what are the other part of your activities or personality needs improvement, right? That's one way. Reflecting can be one part of developing your growth mindset. And you have to be very, you have to be very honest to yourself in admitting that you made some mistakes. Because uh, rather than blaming, say, for example, your day didn't go so well because of some setbacks or failures in a job you're doing, instead of blaming other people, um, why not look at yourself and try to reflect on what could you have done that would improve the situation, or what have you done wrong in that certain situation that leads to the failure. That's one way of practicing or having that good or growth mindset. Help your fixed mindset persona to understand the value of challenges, effort, and learning from setbacks. Explain this experience and contribute. I'm sorry. Explain how these experiences contribute to growth and success. Like this is what I always preach to people who wants to listen. Is that like what I said before, it's the balance of life. Setbacks are situations that will try to teach us something. If you remember, I was listening. I always want to play this in the loop sometimes. The podcast of Jocko Willing, where he said the where was there was this part where about the word good. Um, when you're facing setbacks, say good, more time to learn. When you when you lose at something, good, more time to improve yourself. Um, our business venture didn't go so well. I mean, or I mean, this the startup was not. I mean, your business, yeah, well, was not uh, inaugurated or did not start the right time. Good, more time to prepare, something like that. So, viewing each negative situation is a situation or an opportunity for you to improve yourself. That is growth mindset, right? That's very difficult, of course, as a human being. It's difficult for us to do that, but it's natural also for us to feel frustrated. It's part of us. It's we are human at different kinds of emotion, and we are or we have the right to feel those frustrations, to feel those negative emotions. But the problem is if we dwell on it too long, then that's where we will lead to failure. It's just normal for us to feel the the frustrations. Okay? It's normal as for us to cry, but after that, then you have to do something about what happened. That is the essence of growth mindset. So that is how also that's how we teach our fixed mindset about the growth mindset, right? Embrace challenges instead of avoiding those situations, those difficult situations. We have to embrace them, like what we said before. Okay, our IQ can be increased through learning. Now, if you think that your IQ is limited, then you will really avoid difficult situations. But if you believe that through experience, through practice, and through challenges, you can improve, you can at least add, let's say, point 0.5 to your IQ, then you will not hesitate to face difficult situations. It's very difficult to, I mean, it's easy to say, you is to say, embrace challenges, but in reality, of course, it's difficult. Now, there's a training that was offered by Tim Ferriss about embracing challenges. If you're so afraid to face failures, embarrassment, things like that, okay, and really afraid to face difficult situations, um, one training is that you deliberately try to do something that is embarrassing for at least one time in a week. And then add the frequency, say 2 times per week. The reason for that one is so that your body or your mindset, your emotion will get used to feeling embarrassed. Will get used to feeling that negative emotion brought about by embarrassment. And then once you get used to it, um, you will not really flinch on difficult situations. View them as an opportunity to learn and grow. Easy to say, hard to do. But if you can do self-talk, like I do that. uh, I I hope I will learn something from this. Things like that. I hope I will learn something from this. Even if you cannot see at the moment, at that time, the learning that you can get from that experience, you can just say, I hope I can learn something from it. There's a study that faking it till faking it will sometimes lead to becoming it, right? Like, fake till you make it, something like that. I heard it in a TED talk one time, right? And then next one is focus on the process. Yeah, you gotta focus on the process, like what I said, reflecting, always reflecting on what you are doing. Pay attention to strategies, efforts, and persistence you use to learning improve. I was also a proponent of a fast learning or learning effectively. And one way of learning effectively is really studying how You learn and studying how, what's the process of you learning it? How were you able to learn those things? You try to deconstruct everything, right? Try to deconstruct things. How were you able to achieve something? Then go back to it, go back to the process. It's very difficult. It's very important also. Learning, trying, focusing on the process that will make you fixated on developing, on learning, on growth mindset. Then the next one is learn from setbacks. Learn from setbacks, of course. Again, if you have setbacks, you learn from it. Sit down and then view them. Sit down and then look at the look what happened. Okay? Learn from the setbacks. View them as an indicator of fixed intelligence or worth. Okay, I mean, don't view them as an indicator of um fixed. Where is that? What am I reading at? Of fixed intelligence. Instead, see them as an opportunity to analyze what went wrong, adjust your approach, and learn from experience. Like I said, with what Jocko Willing said on that um, podcast clip, good, okay, setbacks. You say good. You say good. More opportunity for me to improve myself. Reflecting, writing it on the paper sometimes helps, right? I'm so worried about this one because I can see my volume indicator picking up, blowing up that red thing. Anyway, so writing it, self-reflection, right? And see what went wrong always. Okay. Hey, like what I said a while ago, human is an endless it's human is an endless work. We need to work on ourselves until we are 6 feet under the ground. Yeah, until we die. Okay. So the next one is the utilization of what we are calling the peer influence. Surround yourself with people that you see as a growth mindset, you know, personality, attitudes. Sometimes say it's contagious. Now, if you surround yourself with people that has a growth mindset or with growth minded people, then you can easily ask for their advice. You can easily be inspired by how they encounters challenges, how they work on their self. And then you can maybe use some techniques that they employ in their personal development or your own personal development also. So continuously set goals for growth, you know, new learnings, new opportunities, try to achieve them, continuously set goals for you. Like small goals. Don't go too big. Now, technique on setting goals is that we have to go small. Go small so that you can at least reach it. Be realistic in setting up goals to avoid frustration, right? And remember that the journey to a growth mindset is ongoing. It is an ending journey. It is continuous until we vanish from this world. To maintain a growth mindset, it is important to actively look for chances to learn and grow every day. Ask yourself, what are the opportunities of learning and growth today for myself and the people around me? When you identify these opportunities, create concrete plans and on how you will pursue them, including specific actions, timelines, and support systems. So very important here is that, like I said a while ago, the simplification of your goal. Simple, but it is concrete and is specific. Now, if your goal is simple, specific, I should say, then it's easy for you to create a concrete plan on how you can pursue it, right? And of course, you have to be realistic also in setting up deadlines for yourself and achieving those goals. And most importantly, you have to have support system. A Chinese proverb says that to know the road ahead, you have to ask those who are coming back, right? And again, old wisdom, okay? It's time tested and it will always be true. You can use that one. These are the steps that I read from that book, Growth Mindset by Dr. Carlos. Right. So, like I said, boiling it down, it is said that we have those two fixed mindset. I mean, two mindset, fixed mindset and growth mindset. It's very, very important that we can identify. We have to accept that we have that fixed mindset and we have to work in introducing and acquiring, having the growth mindset in us, right? So we can also improve ourselves. So that is the sharing that I can share to you today in this episode of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be seeing you in the next